Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are part of our Build and Zeta family, welcome. We're going to try to get into this and learn a little bit more today. We learned a little bit more about this every day. For those of you that are taking a look at this partnership and this incredible technology and this opportunity for the first time, um, I welcome you, and I guarantee you're going to be blown away. So, Zeta is the future. It's a revolutionary technology and product that we at the Build Network have the opportunity to bring to the forefront. It is a major partnership of two huge companies coming together to attempt to decentralize the internet and bring something to the market that is non existent. So, with Zeta, welcome to the future. And let's move to the next slide. Now, this gentleman here, very, very impressive. This is Mr. Kevin Ross. This gentleman here is the founder and the CEO of Xeta. Now, I don't want to read the whole slide to you. I don't want to bore you with all of his accolades. He has a very impressive resume. As you can see, I would just hit on a few bullet points. This gentleman is a pioneer in the telecommunications and technology industry. He's worked in fixed, wireless, and decentralized networks and has issued over 30 patents. Okay, 30 patents, meaning he's got proprietary technology, meaning it's technology that he came up with and that nobody has access to. Right? He founded companies like WeLink and co-founded Vivint. I would welcome you to, after the call, maybe look some of these companies up and see how impressive this is. But just to hit on a few things that he's done, he's had partnerships, strategic partnerships with companies like Cisco, Microsoft, municipal governments, with New York City, Washington D.C., and L.A. WeLink, one of the companies that he founded, was awarded a $50 million RFP to be able to provide internet to over 275,000 locations, and he beat out companies like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Charter, which is extremely impressive. I'm sure you'll agree. Let's move on to the next one. This gentleman, Dr. Paul Raj, I mean, some of this stuff in here just is so impressive. I'll be honest, it almost seems like too much, right? This gentleman joined Stanford University, has multiple inventions. Now, one of the main things is he invented MIMO, M-I-M-O, right? Which is a technology that, let me just put it this way to keep it simple. If you used a cell phone in the last 20 years, you've been exposed to his technology, which been in 4G and most of these wireless devices. His technology is being shipped out in billions of devices worldwide. He's also got many trademarks, and he's also published over 350 archival papers and has been a co-inventor in over 80 patents. Now, all that stuff sounds very complex, and to some people it might sound a little boring, but it's very impressive. It basically just says that this gentleman and Mr. Kevin Ross, they know what they're doing and bring immense experience, and they are the people behind Xeta. Next, please. This is the board as well. These gentlemen are also on the team. We have Mr. Nash Foster here on the left, who's been an architect and has been in distribution and infrastructure at places like Google, Oracle. I mean, really, need I say more? Google and Oracle, right? So if this gentleman's leading the way and had senior roles at companies like that, he's engineered blockchains, powering scalable Web3 and crypto platforms. That's the experience that he brings to Xeta. We have Mr. Alan Peacock, who's been a pioneer in decentralized storage and edge computing. He founded the company Space Monkey, which was later acquired by Vivint. Again, I would challenge you after the call to look some of these companies up, and I guarantee that you'll be very impressed. And he's also been a researcher at MIT, right? I don't think there's much more that needs to be said. Then we have Mr. Rishi Teshpal, who's a seasoned industry analyst. What I like about this gentleman here is this gentleman brings operational, in-depth technological expertise and then marries it with the world of in-depth business analysis. So he brings both worlds of technology and businesses and meets them, puts them together at an intersection, which is, priceless. And he's behind Xeta on the team as well. So with that said, next please. So now, besides the impressive team that we have behind Xeta, let me talk about the opportunity, the technology that we're bringing, and the opportunity that it has in the marketplace. We have a $6 trillion opportunity by 2030, right? Now, why is it a $6 trillion opportunity? Because the technology that we're bringing is addressing different verticals, right? The first one being telecommunications. That's a $3 trillion opportunity. Cloud computing, 1.4 trillion. AI, or artificial intelligence, 1.3 trillion. Now, we're missing one on here, which I'm going to make sure that we add, is the market of cryptocurrency, which is also in the trillions. So when you take those four verticals and they all meet at an intersection, that's exactly what Xeta is doing. Xeta is addressing an intersection of four main verticals, all at the same time, with one technology and one product. Okay. So what is Xeta doing? Xeta is addressing a lot of the challenges that these monopolies currently own, right? We have centralized infrastructure, right, for the internet, right? We have limited access around the world. Billions of people right now don't have access to the internet. Now, think about that for a second. We take that a little bit for granted, and I'll touch on that a little bit more later. But think about right now, if you lived your life without the internet. Is it possible? Yeah, you could definitely live your life without internet, right? Sometimes we even need a break from the internet. But imagine not being able to have access to information, which empowers us on a daily basis, right? There's billions of people. We can make an impact on that, and we can change that, and we can help distribute a network that gives billions of people around the world that are at a disadvantage. We can help give them access to the internet. Now, data privacy. This addresses an issue with data privacy as well. We know that centralized systems, I think that at least once a week, we hear about a breach or a hack, or that our information was stolen. We hear about this all the time, right? And supposedly we believe, right, or we're led to believe that our information is in safe hands with these big companies. But we hear about these breaches all the time. Look, I tell people all the time, look, when people talk about security, I don't want to input my social security number, my date of birth. Look, I hate to break it to you. All of your information is already online somewhere, right? And that is a concern. And Xeta is also trying to find a solution, or found a solution, to data privacy. Another thing with monopolized systems and these centralized infrastructures is there's high costs. So it's very, very expensive to build out these infrastructures, right? And we're finding a solution for that. There's also environmental concerns, right? We have these huge data centers that cost billions of dollars to not only build, but to maintain. And that's an environmental concern because of the emissions that it lets off, the amount of water that's needed to cool off these servers. That's another concern that we're not even touching on here, but look it up. Emissions and water, big concern for these data centers that are being built everywhere. And these data centers, here's the crazy part about it. These data centers are not being built strictly just for profit, or because, they're trying to expand businesses. They're needed. These data centers are a need. In the direction that the world is going with artificial intelligence, we don't have enough compute power to be able to host and support these applications. This is why these data centers are being built. But we're finding a solution to not needing these huge data centers built in one area. This is why we're looking to decentralize and build a network. Now, there's increasing demand. So we're also here to meet a demand in the marketplace, right? I learned a long time ago that if you can find a void in the marketplace and fill it, that can be very lucrative. Now, what's our solution? What is Xeta? I've been addressing all these things, but what is the solution? It's a decentralized alternative. We call it the next generation network supercomputer. It's community owned, decentralized, AI driven, and the network is a data center. Let me just touch on a little bit about that. So community owned, how is it community owned? Instead of having one super soldier, right? We're looking to have billions of little soldiers and building an army. We're putting the power back into people's hands. So by it being community owned, people are able to buy a router, host it in their home or in their place of business, and be part owner, a small piece of a large network. How is it decentralized? Because now being part of all these small pieces, you see those dots on the map? By everything being dispersed, it's no longer centralized, it's decentralized, which makes it a lot better also to be able to scale and also for our data, because our data now is now being dispersed in fractions. So if we upload something that we want to be private, it's broken up into tiny little pieces across the network. So if somebody hacks it, they don't have access to our data. So this is huge. When you break it up into millions of pieces, it's almost impossible for somebody to hack and get your data. It's AI driven, right? We're gonna have so much AI compute power in this thing, and the future is AI. As you all know, we hear AI on social media, on the news. You can't go a day without hearing about artificial intelligence or AI. And the network is the data center. That big data center that I was talking about, you no longer need that big data center because all these bits and pieces, which are us as a network put together, is a large data center. So let's move on to the next one, please. All right, so it seems complex, right? It sounds complicated, but really it's a simple and efficient solution. Instead of relying on large centralized data centers, we're just here to build one large network. And what we're doing is we're laying the foundation right now. That's going to reduce operating costs. We're building a network and building internet speeds at a fraction of the cost. We're also contributing to the environment by providing fewer CO2 emissions and using less energy in one place. A lot of these states in these cities where these data centers are looking to be built, they don't want them because they're going to have a problem with, they don't have a solution for the amount of energy that these data centers are going to consume. So building a network out is a solution to emissions, to energy, and to operating costs. Next, please. So here with Xeta's revolutionary products, let me just touch on these and try to keep it as simple as possible. We're basically at the beginning. We have a few products that can be rolled out like a puzzle. These pieces have to be put together to be able to see the bigger picture. So let's look at the first one. It's a Wi-Fi 7 mesh system that provides multi-gigabit speeds. So there's two boxes there. One is the router, one is the mesh system, which is the signal extender, okay? So the router that you're looking at, which is the bigger box, you already have one in your home or in your place of business. You currently have one already. If you have internet, you have a router, or you have a modem, or you have a 2-in-1, which is a newer version, and has everything in one box. Right now, we are laying the foundation. We are in pre-phase 1/phase 1. We are laying the foundation. You can't build anything without a foundation. Just like building a home, like building anything, if you look at any blueprint, you talk to any architect, they're going to tell you the first thing that has to be done is a foundation has to be laid out. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We are at the point right now where people can get in early and purchase this Wi-Fi 7 mesh system and plug it in at home. Let me repeat that. You don't have to program it. You don't have to write code. You don't have to do anything with it. It's plug and play. You order this box, you plug it in at home, and now you're part of the network. You are contributing bandwidth. You're contributing your electricity. You're contributing and hosting this box. And by having all these people host these boxes, we are laying out the foundation and building out the network. That is phase 1. Phase 2 is the AI edge node, which this thing is the super brain that comes in after we lay the foundation. Once we're hosting the mesh system and the router, and we've laid enough of foundation, now we add the AI edge node. What is the AI edge node? That small little box, for those of you that have seen an Apple TV, it's very similar. And what this has, it has a CPU, a GPU, and an AI compute chip. It has 4 terabytes of storage, and it has 70 teraops. Now, what is 70 teraops? 70 teraops basically means that this has enough power for enough compute power to be able to handle 70 trillion operations per second. Again, 70 trillion operations per second. That is a lot of compute power, a lot. So that's what starts putting together the supercomputer, right? Then we move over to phase 3, which is the 6G wireless repeater. Now, once we have the foundation laid out in phase 1, we move on to phase 2 of adding that AI edge node to the system. These things are sitting in your home, they're plugged in. We now move on to the 6G wireless repeater, which will go on rooftops in strategic places. Doesn't mean that every single place that has this system has to have one on the rooftop. The more the better, but they will be dispersed in strategic places. What this does now is this is going to boost speed and power and coverage. It fills in the gaps and solidifies the network. Okay, when we get to this point, it's really exciting because when we get to this point, we can now offer our own ISP. We now can offer, which is ISP stands for Internet Service Provider. So now we can offer build internet. We can offer Xeta internet. We will have enough compute power to be able to offer build cell phone service, Xeta cell phone service. So these are the 3 phases that we have to go through. There's a long-term vision here, right? It's not an overnight thing. This is something that we are building out in phases, but we are here at the beginning and we have the first movers advantage. And in any opportunity, it's all about the timing. The early adopters in a great opportunity always benefit the most. I dare anybody to argue that with me. A mentor taught me a long time ago that the T in timing is a lot more important than the T in talent. There are a lot of talented people out there that got involved with things a little bit too late. So timing is very important, and you're looking at something at the beginning. So this is so how does Xeta build the future of connectivity? Again, very simple. I touched on this earlier, but step 1 is you install and connect. The first thing you do is order your mesh system. What you see in the smaller box with the 2 boxes in step 1, you plug it in, and that's it. Plug to play. I apologize. I got thrown off a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. We just updated our slides, and I got thrown off just a little bit here. But so again, 1, 2, and 3, we go from the Wi-Fi 7 mesh router, our repeater node, and our AI edge server, and then we get to our mega sector node. As more people join, as the network starts to grow globally, now we increase density, right? Meaning we have clusters of people in different cities, different neighborhoods, and now we can distribute our mega sector node, which is 100 gigabit capable aggregator node that has fiber speeds and is connecting the whole network together. Once that is laid out, the network is basically complete, and we are now a decentralized network. Next, please. So what is our business model? Why is it that we have an opportunity here? Look, I was talking about the T in timing, right? I learned from a mentor a long time ago that for you to have success in the business world, right? There's a lot of different versions of success. Success looks different for everybody, but I'm talking specifically the business world. You can try a lot of different things, but to really have true success in business, you just need to be at the right place at the right time, one time. And I can tell you that I've been lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time a couple of times, right? And take advantage of an opportunity, but never like this. I can tell you that I missed the boat on a lot of things that involve technology and cryptocurrency. And this is the first time that I get the opportunity to be at the beginning of something so big and have the opportunity to invite others to join me. So the business model here, how do we scale? How do we scale through decentralization? So the first thing that we're focusing on is, I'm sorry, we can go back really quick. Um, the first thing is the hardware sales. So we are direct to consumer. The relationship that Xeta has with Build is the platform, right? So we are the arm of Xeta that is bringing this to the marketplace. So we are direct to consumer. We are able to talk to people and provide them with the hardware sales. This network is now going to provide us with different and multiple streams of revenue, right? Through AI compute, through cloud storage. And then we're going to have the tokenized ecosystem, which is the cryptocurrency. It's the rewards that we're going to be able to offer early adopters for coming in and hosting this box and being part of the network. You will be rewarded with tokens, with cryptocurrency on a daily basis. And I will say this, I don't want to get into it too much, but just like any other cryptocurrency, before you have a lot of people in it, there's more coins than people. So the people who get in early do tend to earn a bigger share of the pie early on in the opportunity. So think about that for a second. You get in as an early adopter, you are a pioneer. You should deserve to make more and get a bigger piece of the pie because you're helping us build the network, right? It's easy to join something when it's evident. It's easy to join something when it absolutely makes sense, right? When something sounds maybe a little difficult or a little grandiose, or it sounds like it's a huge goal that sounds very iffy if it can be met. It's difficult to get involved, right? You have to have vision. You have to be able to see the long-term play and be able to take a little risk to get involved early. So people who get in early, the people who adopt the vision early, they will be rewarded with a bigger slice of the pie when it comes to the tokens and the cryptocurrency. Next, please. So what is your role? You are an owner. You own a part of the network, right? When there's changes to the network, owners get to vote on the changes. You get input in the network. You're just not a consumer anymore. You are now earning, which makes you not only a capitalist, but you are now the data center. You are now the infrastructure. Think about the router that you have in your place of business or in your home. I'll use myself as an example. I have one in my office and I have one at home. All it does is provide me with internet. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything else for me, right? I get on the internet, I work, I shop. That's all I'm able to do. We now have a piece of equipment or a piece of technology that you can plug in to your router. And by it just being plugged in, it can earn you rewards. That's crazy when you think about it. Seriously, wrap your mind around that, right? This technology is going to disrupt the market. If you take anything away from this presentation or this information, take away the keyword disrupt. Xeta is here to disrupt a market. We're not here. See, I've been talking to people about Xeta every day, multiple people. Some people get it. Some people, it takes them a little bit more to understand it. And I was having a conversation and I'm explaining to them, look, I'm not saying yes, we are decentralizing the internet. We're not doing away with the internet. We're not replacing the internet. We're not going to be the new internet. We're here to give people another option to disrupt a market. Just like all of these other conglomerates. Think about it for a second. Uber, right? Did Uber do away or eliminate taxi cabs? No. I can still order a taxi cab right now to my office if I wanted to. But did Uber disrupt the market? It did. It took a small piece of the pie and a lot of people made a lot of money. Think about Airbnb. Did Airbnb do away with hotels? No, I love staying at hotels. I love staying at nice hotels with my family. I can book a hotel right now and be there tomorrow. Airbnb did not do away with hotels, but it disrupted the market and gave people another option. Again, they took a small piece of the pie, right? Netflix, Amazon. Amazon definitely put a hurting on a lot of retail places, but I can still walk into the mall. I can still walk into a department store, but Amazon definitely disrupted the market. Netflix, a lot of people cut their cable. I still have cable at home because I like the option. Again, I like having options. So I still have cable, but I also have Netflix. I still stream. Streaming disrupted a market. Xeta is here to disrupt the market, give people another option give people solutions. And for those people that tend to get involved early and adopt this and have a vision and see it for farther what it is down the line, not for what it is just right now, tend to benefit early on. One of my favorite quotes by Helen Keller, right? Helen Keller said, I'd rather be blind and have no sight than to have sight and have no vision. Think about that. You gotta have a little vision. You gotta think ahead. You gotta ask yourself, what if? What if I'm at the right place at the right time, one time? Because I'll tell you, after today's call, you'll never be able to say that you weren't. You'll never be able to say you weren't at the beginning of a tremendous opportunity. You are at the forefront right now. And it's not like these technologies are something new. See, think about that. Wrap your head around that for a second. When we talk about AI compute, that exists already. It's nothing new. When we're talking about cloud storage, we already pay for that. I pay for that through Apple. When we talk about telecommunications, internet, cryptocurrency, it's nothing new. It's been around for years already. What nobody has done is taken it all and put it all together in one intersection and find a solution for a better way to do it. And that's what Xeta is offering. And if I were you, I'd take a serious look at it. Let's go to the next slide. So again, I touched on this already. You earn crypto, you earn your token rewards by contributing your electricity, connectivity, and your hardware devices. So very simple. Now, let me just make this clear because every time I say electricity, people kind of worry and they're like, "Oh my God, is my electric bill going to go up? How much electricity?" It's minimal. You're not going to notice it, right? Because again, it's not your electricity that's powering the network. It's going to be thousands and millions of people all working together to power the network. So it's minimal, the electricity that you'll be contributing. But that's the whole point, right? That's what makes it a strong network. Everybody contributes a little bit. And that's what makes it such a powerful network. Now, being able to generate these tokens is simply plug in, power up, and you earn. That's it. I know it sounds too good to be true. Everybody's asking me, but what exactly do we need to do? There has to be more to it. There's not. You host the box, you're a part of the network, and that's how you earn your rewards. Next, please. So later on, we will have videos that will show you exactly how to set it up, but it's as simple as you can see here. It takes less than 60 seconds to just plug it in. You have your private VPN activated, okay? And then while you're browsing, and as long as your box has power to it and it's on, you're earning rewards on a daily basis. Next, please. Now, this part is my favorite part. I honestly have to say, I have 4 children. My oldest is 16, my youngest is 7 months. And this really, really gets me. It is such an honor to be a part of something that is mission driven. And that's one of the things that I love about the leadership, both at Build and at Xeta. This gentleman, Kevin Ross, has had major exits. His companies have been acquired for millions of dollars. This gentleman doesn't need to do Xeta. He doesn't need to bring these solutions to the marketplace. He's bringing these solutions to the marketplace because it's a mission that he has. I've learned a long time ago that a man or a woman that is mission driven is a lot more dangerous than somebody who's just chasing a dollar, chasing money, right? Somebody who's chasing money gets distracted very easily. Somebody that's chasing a mission, there's only one way to stop them, right? Meaning they don't exist anymore. But when somebody's mission driven, it's powerful. And that's what we have here at Build and Xeta. And here is the Xeta Impact Program. 2/3 of the world's children don't have internet. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but think about that again. Think about if you didn't have access to the internet. Think about your children right now. If they didn't have access to the internet, the disadvantage that they would be at. Could you live without the internet? Yes, but at a major disadvantage. And we need to level the playing field for our children. We need to level the playing field for billions of people across the world. Now, what Xeta is doing with the Impact Program is when you buy a Xeta kit, it helps to subsidize an internet connection somewhere in a village, a school, a home, and they can get their first connection to the internet, to the modern world. this is also a humanitarian opportunity. We help grow a network that 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 feeds a digital global economy. And just think about how noble this mission is. We can bring internet to the rest of the world so we can equip them with more knowledge and more information that's already readily available that we probably take for granted. Think about what information can do for a child, right? You can impact a child's life by getting the right information at the right time. Those are children that can change the world, right? It's almost like it's our job. It's almost like that. One of my favorite quotes. I'll probably mess it up, but from the movie Spider-Man, it says, "With great power comes great responsibility." And I feel like this is not only an opportunity, but it's a mission. It's something that we owe to others that maybe don't have the same opportunity as us. And it sounds very complex, but I forgot who said this, but it says, that the people who think they are crazy enough to change the world are the ones that do. And I know that this Xeta technology might sound, very complicated. There's a lot of big words with a lot of big syllables, and some of this stuff I'm still learning myself. But all I know is that we have a tremendous opportunity here to change the world, to change a market, to disrupt a market. And we're here at the beginning. And that's just, I really can't find the word for that. That is just, I get goosebumps as I'm saying that. I feel honored just be able to be a part of this and share this information with you. So yeah, next slide, please. So another thing that's very impactful and impressive about Xeta is that we're not building on speculation. We're building on real world assets with real world use and utility that are going to create real revenues. Think about that. It's not just, again, I know people can debate me on this, but I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of, you know, projects, even business projects, but crypto in general, a lot of it is driven by speculation, by demand, by people that think they're going to get rich overnight. So then there's more demand for the coin they buy, it, right? It raises the value of the coin. Here, the value of our token is in direct relation to us finding solutions for everyday people like you and I, for filling a void in the marketplace. Excuse me. So by us filling a void in the marketplace, by bringing some real solutions to the rest of the world, that gives us an opportunity to create real revenue. That real revenue is the underlying foundation for the token. So it's real, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real token that's driven by the revenue. The more revenue that we create, the more valuable the token gets. And we are here building this network at the beginning, and we're going to build it home by home, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, continent by continent, country by country. We are going to build a vast network, and all we have to do is plug in, power up, and earn. Next slide, please. So we have the Xeta Ambassador Program by you being a part of the Build network, the Build platform. So how is Xeta rewarding early adopters and people joining and helping us grow the network? Xeta has a two-tier affiliate program, ambassador program. I say affiliate because I'm in this. I have a social media business, and in the social media world, we use the word affiliate a lot. But you can say affiliate ambassador. Let me break this down for you. It's very simple. I believe in the project, and I get involved, and I get a box. I plug in my box, and I'm earning rewards on a daily basis. I'm earning tokens on a daily basis. I share this with my brother. My brother now gets a box, plugs it in. He's now helping us grow the network, and he's hosting a box himself. Whatever tokens my brother earns, Xeta is going to give us 67% match on those tokens. Let me make something clear. I'm not taking 67% of his tokens. We don't touch his tokens. Whatever he earns, they match me on 67% of that for just introducing him and helping build the network. So my rewards on my level one, you would call my brother level one, are in addition to my tokens. So think about that. Think about how quickly this adds up. I'm earning my tokens without doing anything, right? I'm at work, summertime here now in Chicago where I'm at. I'm at the pool. I'm taking my children on activity. My box is plugged in my office and at home. I'm getting my rewards. My tokens are being earned. I shared it with my brother. His box is plugged in. He's earning his own rewards, but because I introduced him, I'm now getting a match of 67%. But it doesn't stop there. It goes to a second level. Anybody my brother introduces, that's my second level. And now I get a 33% match. So now on a daily basis, I'm earning my tokens. I'm getting a 67% match on my brother, and I'm getting a 33% match on his friend, all because we helped expand the network, right? Now, let's just say I stop there. Still wouldn't be bad, right? Now I'm earning off of 3 boxes in the network. It stops at that second tier. But what if you're just slightly more ambitious than me? What if you go introduce 5 people on your first level? Then they introduce another 5 people. Now you have, see, I'm not even that good at math. What I do know is I know how to take advantage of opportunities and earn. So whatever that is, those second levels you're earning on all of those boxes, right? So there's an incredible, incredible opportunity here for you not only to join us in the network, but to also share with others and have them take advantage of this incredible opportunity, and you will be rewarded for that. We will all be rewarded for that. And it doesn't stop there. Those are just the tokens. Those are just the cryptocurrency tokens for the bots being plugged in off of the revenues that Xeta will be bringing in. Then we have, being part of the Build network, you now earn off of somebody buying the box. So on top of the tokens, you now get $125 upfront every time somebody buys a box, okay? And then we also add a $75 coded bonus into the program. I don't want to get into all the details of that because then I'll be here for another 30 minutes explaining it to you because it's massive. So the $75 coded bonus basically means you can make, there's more money thrown into the program. You can make up to $200 or even a little bit more for every person that gets a box from you because you shared the opportunity with them. And the coded bonus pays up to 5 generations. So there's money in the tokens that you earn daily. There's revenue in you getting somebody to purchase the box. And then there's bonuses as well. So you can understand how this starts to add up. Now, with that being said, there's usually 3 kinds of people I've learned after being involved with many companies and both. I've been in the insurance industry. I own a social media business. And when you talk to people, you usually realize that there's usually 3 kinds of people when you're presenting something to them. The first person is the person who just gets it. They have vision, they see it for what it is, and they realize they want to take advantage of the opportunity right away. Those are the go-getters. Those are the people that don't let obstacles or excuses stand in the way. They're like, I see it, I get it, I don't want to miss out, I'm in. That's the first person. The second person is somebody who gets it, but they have a few questions, right? They didn't get enough information. Maybe they're a little bit more technical. They want to ask a little bit more about certain things, and that's totally okay. So that second person, you might be ready to go, but you just need a few questions answered. So to that person, I say, look, if you have some questions that need to be answered, just make sure they're answered by the right person. The biggest mistake that you can make is go ask the wrong person and get the wrong information, right? Some of you are looking at this for the first time, and it's a lot to take in and a lot to understand. You're thinking this is a great opportunity, but you're going to go ask your cousin who is very skeptical. You're going to ask your friend who maybe sells cars, maybe they're a real estate agent. Nothing wrong with that, but this is not their lane, right? They're in something totally different. And maybe they're a little bit closed-minded. Maybe they're not open to opportunity. You ask them about it, and they're going to say, oh, I don't know. Sounds kind of crazy to me, right? It doesn't seem like something, I wouldn't get involved. And now, off of their opinion, you bought their opinion, and now you missed out on something. So if you have questions, just make sure that you're asking the right person, right? Whether it be somebody in Build, in Xeta, maybe somebody that you respect in business that's open-minded. Just make sure you get your questions answered. We can get you on the phone with somebody to answer the questions that you have. And then the third person that we usually come across is somebody who maybe this is not for them. I really don't know how this cannot be for everyone, honestly. But maybe it's not for them. Maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe they are, maybe they're just it's not the right time for them. Maybe they can't afford to buy the box right now, right? Maybe they want to get involved and they just can't. But they support the person who is doing this because somebody asked you to be on this call. Somebody thought highly enough of you to invite you to this. So that person can at least support them by maybe they know somebody else, refer them. Share this with somebody else that maybe it is the right time for them, and you can support the person that invited you to this call. And the last thing that I can add and that I ask all of you is bet on yourself, invest in yourself. So many of us, we think about, especially early on in our careers, we think about if I only had money to invest in a business, if I only had money to do this. I'll tell you right now, the first thing that you should be doing is investing in yourself. Bet on yourself, and you already did tonight by being on this call. You could have been anywhere else. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to get on this call for a reason. Maybe you did it for the person who invited you. Maybe you were curious. Maybe you did it for yourself because you're looking for something. So you already invested in yourself by being here. I invite you to invest in yourself and get involved with something that is bringing the future to the forefront, right? A company that has a reputable name like Build, like Xeta, with the type of leadership that we have, take this opportunity seriously because after today, you'll never be able to tell yourself, your family members, your friends, your children, your grandchildren, that you weren't at the right place at the right time one time. With that being said, I appreciate everybody being on this call tonight. I thank you for listening to this message, for listening to the information, and let's go build.